This is the Canon PowerShot V1 and this video is about unboxing, looking at the contents that are there as part of the packaging and my first impressions of the PowerShot V1, being a recent Sony fanboy. So I've actually received it on this straightforward box right from Ted's in Doncaster. That's the place I actually shop. If you're looking for cameras or camera accessories, whether they're new ones or used ones, try to always check out the Ted's Doncaster. They always have a good deal up there. It's a pretty simple packaging. Just open the box up and voila, this is what is there. You obviously have a warranty card from Canon. You have some more paperwork with respect to Australia and New Zealand from Canon. Camera Connect from Canon. So these days everyone basically wants to use their apps which are there on the phone, transfer it directly from phone to an app and then publish it on social medias rather than using a machine. And by the way, if you're using image.canon, you can actually integrate it with Google Photos, Google Drive, Frame.io and Adobe Photoshop Lightroom. This is an absolute very thick manual, at least the thickest one that I've seen in all the cameras till date, for the PowerShot V1 from Canon in almost of the languages. That's the reason I guess it's thick. This is just getting started guide. I thought it's a detailed manual, but it's just a getting started guide. The detailed manual is actually available online. I'll paste a link of it in the description. Please do check it out. And if I open this up, in the main compartment, I just have a charging cable. It comes with an Australian plug pin, obviously, because I live in Australia. On the other end, you have a bunch of these accessories in paper packaging. These days, everyone is big on paper packaging, so let's basically open one by one. This is called WSDC12. If I open this up, it's just the arm strap band. This is the windscreen or dead cat, either you like to call it, and it slides in to the hot shoe mount on Canon PowerShot V1. Let me pick some more goodies which are there on the side. Now this is the battery packed in a cloth pouch. This battery is called LPE17. It's a lithium ion battery. It comes with this kind of a protecting case in the front, and you got to remove it and actually insert where the pins are into the camera, which we'll be seeing in next few minutes. And this is where the main camera is, but I just want to see, are there anything hidden in the side pockets? None. If I open this up for the grand reveal, ta-da! This is the Canon V1 in its packaging. Wow, I can already feel its weight. It's actually around 429 grams. Okay, it's almost a half a kilo of whatever you're trying to buy out there. Someone like me, it would be ice cream. So this is the reveal of the PowerShot V1 in all its glory. Ta-da! It's big, man. It's big. My initial reactions, this is a very beefy point and shoot camera. I mean, or you can call it a compact camera, or you can call it a vlogging camera. I am impressed. I mean, I was very much impressed by the Canon's M6 Mark II. If you'll remember, that's how I actually started this channel. That is one of the first videos that I made on this channel. That was my introduction to mirrorless cameras, obviously the APS-C range of Canon. But because Canon, they ditched the entire MF series of lenses and asked everyone to move to RF and say M6 Mark II, a 33 megapixel camera, well, I went on a different direction with Panasonic and Sony, but I'm really impressed looking at this bodies, looking at a Panasonic body and Sony bodies. I mean, if you pick up a ZV-1F or a ZV-1F Mark II or any of those, similar kind of vlogging point and shoot range of cameras, they're very lightweight, they're very sleek, and half the times you're actually afraid if I put it somewhere, whether it'll scratch, whether it'll break and all that stuff. But Canon, no, this is really good. I'm very happy in holding this in my hand. It's very comfortable. It's as comfortable as my ZV-E10 Mark II that I hold in my hand. I will be posting a comparison between a ZV-E10 Mark II versus the PowerShot V1. And if you're interested, I would request you to please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. That'll be absolutely awesome. If you like this video, please do give a thumbs up. And if you want me to test something on this particular camera, please do comment it below. For collabs, the email ID is there in the description. This camera is really just the look and feel, the texture of it. The texture almost feels like, I was holding a Fujifilm camera. At least that's my latest experience from the XT50. It's a very rubberized texture actually up here, and it fits pretty neat. Although you have a little bit issue with the pinky, but then, you can manage. You can definitely manage with this. Now, I don't know. I picked apart the entire packaging, to be honest, and sorry for the mess. But I'm really not sure if Canon is pulling a prank on us or there is something that has actually gone missing here. I do have a charging cable to go ahead and actually charge like a brick kind of charger so that I can go ahead and charge my batteries, but there is no brick or charger with that. All I got is a simple charging cable for 220 volts AC. There is no charger to connect this cable. I have no idea why Canon has actually given this. Maybe there's a funny prank by Canon on people who buy the Canon PowerShot V1, but hey, to be honest with you, I don't even know how to react, man. I'm a little bit speechless. Why? Why would you do that? Is this the Canon way of trying to get back to me? Trying to pull a prank on me? Don't know, man. Absolutely no idea. This is the Canon's PowerShot V1. Their latest dabble into vlogging and their challenge to a lot of these compact vlogging cameras which are actually coming out in the market. Whether they're actually from the Sony, whether they're actually from Nikon, some of them, and then whether they're actually from Fujifilm, like the M5. Okay, although M5 is a completely different ball game when you have a 6K, open gate in it. Or M5 is more like a form factor standpoint of view, not from, resolution of taking video. Or the ZV-E10 or the ZV-E10 Mark II from Sony, or the ZV-1 or ZV-1F. I mean, the only difference between this one and the other version, that is the R50V, is that the R50V has an interchangeable lens. This does not. This just basically has an inbuilt standard lens. So let's look at it from the outside. So you have outlets for the fan on the top on the left hand side. You have outlets for the fan on the left hand side, right where your display comes in, and also on the top. No dingly danglies. Good on you, Canon. And you just have two holes where you can go ahead and put these kind of hand straps, or you can go ahead and put the quick mounting from PGY Tech or the other similar type of companies. This is where the mic actually resides. This is the hot shoe pin. If you remove the blind on it, the hot shoe is actually electronic pins all the way inside of here. You can use this dead cat, or you can actually call it as a windscreen. Either way, dead cat is not a good term. A windscreen, and just slide it in here so that you can remove any kind of wind noises impacting your voice recording. For now, I'm going to keep the windscreen aside and just show you as is. You have an on and off button here, so just a button to go ahead and press on and off. In the front, you are actually having for the zooming, that's wide and telescope, and you have a record button to go ahead and start and stop the record. Now you actually have a mode selection dial up here, an interesting mode selection dial where you are having, I think, C1, C2, C3, three customizable modes, manual mode, and obviously other photo modes, a scene mode and stuff. And then, just like Sony did long ago, you actually have a toggle between photo and video. So you can just, in an instant, swap between photo and video. At least I remember Sony doing it on dials itself. I'm not sure if some other manufacturers already done it. If so, please do post it below in the comments. On the back hand side, you just have the simple display itself. Canon badging, open this up, and pretty simple, fully articulating display you're having. So you can see yourself when you're filming yourself, or you can actually use this fully articulating LCD display to actually move it in different angles and take some cool angled photos or videos. So we have a star button. Maybe that's something you can actually program as a shortcut. You have a manual M or function button. As far as my understanding goes, that's also a customizable button. Obviously, you have a menu button. You actually have a display button. And then this thing is not only a wheel, but also four-way button. And you have a center button, which is there for settings or Q menu. So the top side is actually either your exposure or dustbin, or basically delete button. Your right side is actually selecting your modes of actually shooting. That means whether you're actually taking a burst photography or a single photography, or you're actually having a time-based, time-lapse photography above there. Auto manual focus is there on the left-hand side, and bottom is actually info. And you have a small LED light here. And if you see on the right-hand side is where you're actually having your IO ports. So these IO ports are your mic right on the top. Very interestingly, they have actually given even a 3.5 mm listening jack along with fans in a almost all compact point and shoot camera format. Okay, I think this is my theory. Okay, I could be right or wrong. Seeing the kind of revolution the Fujifilm X100V or X106, whatever is the latest model, has actually created among content creators and among consumers who buy just simple point and shoot cameras to vlog their daily lives or to record their birthday parties or their trips outing either on a vacation or to a zoo with their family. Everyone wants to produce a camera something similar. Now some people have actually, like Fujifilm, gone with the fixed lens route. These guys have come with a zoom lens route. I always love variable zoom lens when compared to fixed lens. just because I'm able to compose more different type of shots. But then some people love prime lenses, and there is nothing wrong with that. I almost will treat every variable zoom lens as a prime lens at a given f-stop, but different focal lengths, if you get my point. And lastly, it's a USB-C charger, and you're having the micro HDMI port. Well, we have been getting micro HDMI ports from Canon for ages now, I don't even want to get into that conversation. But for this piece, when you've actually put so much, if you would have just given us a full-fledged HDMI, I would be jumping off from my seat. But it's okay. It's okay. You've given a lot, if you ask me. A very, very beefy camera. A tally light in the front, which is really cool. And I really appreciate Canon for doing that, for putting a tally light in the front. Then obviously you have a viewfinder here, and this the lens. Now you do actually have a small kind of a dial-up in the front. I'm guessing this is for focus. I'm not sure. I'm going to on it and see if it's really impacting focus or not. And then obviously the lens, inbuilt lens right up here. So let's go ahead and put in the battery. Now on the bottom side, sorry, forgot to show this side. On the bottom side, you have the standard 1/4" screw mount, and then you're having the battery door. That's where even your SD card would actually reside. So this is the battery. Just trying to put it as is. Nothing fancy about it. And ta-da! I do need to put a memory card into that, otherwise it doesn't make any sense. It does accept an SD UHS class 2 memory card into it. My understanding is it can also accept UHS class 1, but we got to actually cross-check that claim which was there on the internet. So I'm just inserting my memory card very plain. This is the memory card slot. So basically the memory card needs to be facing towards us. The notch is facing towards the left side corner, and it would just slot it in that way. Now, this is me switching on the Canon PowerShot V1 for the first time and show you this, because this animation is something I am really, really digging into here. Okay, so hopefully this is actually in focus. Cool. So this Canon PowerShot V1 does come with the Canon's famous 12 pixel CMOS autofocus version 2. So I got to read a little bit more about it, but I heard that's actually pretty cool in terms of focusing. It's very, very close to what Sony can do, and sometimes better than Sony and sometimes not really that better than Sony. It's by default in a video mode. When I've actually switched it on, the image processor in this camera is the Digic X processor. Yeah, in terms of spec, it can shoot 4K, obviously 30 frames per second, but also 60 frames per second with a crop. The ISO speed goes from 100 all the way to 32,000. That's a lot. No one is going to use it in that entire range. But one thing I did not mention to you all till now. Is this an APS-C camera? Is this a micro four thirds camera? Obviously, it's not a full frame camera. So this, according to Canon, is 1.4-inch sensor, which is slightly larger than the micro four thirds sensor. So you might actually have a slightly better quality of your video as well as photos than a micro four thirds sensor. At least that's a preliminary understanding. But don't get me wrong. I've been a previous user of micro four thirds, and they rock at actually capturing some amazing content in terms of clarity and resolution. So 4K being 4K, but all 4Ks are not the same. I'll prove it to you in one of the videos that I'm actually currently filming. Having said that, the sensor resolution is 22.3 megapixels. So that's actually okay for me. As long as I'm shooting in 4K or 1080p, 22.3 megapixels is a lot if you ask me for 4K, no need to worry about. And at the same time, because the sensor is around or slightly larger than the micro four thirds sensor, I'm pretty much happy that this is not one of those 1-inch point and shoot camera sensors. So you would get a far more decent image quality and video quality when you would compare with the traditional 1-inch sensors which are actually out there in compact cameras or point and shoot camera. So this is my unboxing and initial impressions of the Canon PowerShot V1. If you do have any comments, please do post below. I will be creating some vlogs, contents, and a tutorial and all of that actually on this one. If you would like to watch all of that, please do subscribe to my channel, obviously. And until the next video, take care, stay safe, happy filming.